Hey guys, how you doing? Ray here again. If you'd like to subscribe, it's Nitro Kyosho. Well, I just put out a video, guys, about some overhauling I did to this recently. I put some ceramic bearings in the main bearing blocks and also back in the tail there. And just something I want to share with you, and I'm going to try not to bash a line again because everybody's tired of me crying about a line and different things. And this is something that they used to be better at, and they've cheapened on this model, is the screws. And I have the screw here. This is a button head screw. Okay. And these are the old ones that came on the 450 Pro. These are cap screws, which are beefier, deeper, and the actual Allen wrench that goes in there is bigger. Okay, you're talking about, let me see here, you're talking about a 1.5 and then going up in size to a 2.0, this one. So quite a bit of size difference. And I had gone to overhaul this. Now guys, when I do Loctiting, okay, I use blue Loctite medium strength. Alright. And I use a toothpick, and I just put it on the little bit, the first couple of threads a little bit, and that is about it. Okay, and I had 3 strip out when I went to overhaul this, and I don't put massive amounts of Loctite. Okay, anybody who knows me knows that. I've got videos out about Loctiting. So anyways, typical, I drilled them out and took them out. And anyways, what I did was these were from the feathering shafts, okay, of all the Align helicopters in the 450 series, the Pro, the DFC, the Dominator. And what I did was I put them here on all the bearing blocks. You can see over here, down there, down under there, and I did it on both sides, and you can see them down in there. They actually come through the bearing block a little bit, okay, but those were what were on the old 450s. They're big, they're thick, they've got a deep insert, okay. These are like made to strip out. They are very shallow. They're button heads, and they're cheap garbagey screws. So the quality definitely has gone down, because they used to put these big beefy ones, and I don't think it makes a hair difference of weight. Somebody will probably say, oh, well, they're trying to lighten them. No, they're just cheapening them. That's all they're doing. But once again, we're not here to bash. I'm just trying to give a tip about this. And also, one had stripped out in the tail casing back here too, and you can actually fit those there's different sizes you can get, either through like a parts bag from an old 450 Pro. If you get the parts bag, and that's kind of hard because it's black on black, but I upgraded those too back there on both sides. So now they actually, if I can get this in the light for you guys, yeah, you can see them, how they stick out. Now I do machining for a living, guys, so I know about how to take things apart, how to drill things, how to tap things, and this video is more or less for, it's a good tip for everybody, but for a novice out there, see, if you had stripped something like this, now you can still get a pair of pliers on that big cap head, and you can turn it out. If you have these buttons that are sunk in there, and you don't know how to drill, and you don't know how to take a screw out, now you're going to go to the hobby shop and have them butcher it up and charge you 50 bucks an hour to do it for you. So I'm always trying to give these tips to help people, guys. I'm You know, I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't mechanically inclined that get into these hobbies, and what it does is it can really frustrate them and make them spend a lot of money. These are never going to strip, because I never had any strip on my old 450 Pro. And back in those days, you were crashing, bashing, rebuilding, taking apart, Loctiting, taking apart, putting together. And these are deep, and they're big. And I never had any issues stripping a screw on any my old. I had two 450 Pro fly bar, the original 450 Pros. I also did them down here. I'm going to actually find some at maybe the hardware store, Home Depot, because I didn't have any for here. These are into plastic, so don't worry about them, the ones that hold the rudder servo. These you're not going to really be messing with. Those are actually the big cap screws there. These are going into plastic, so don't worry about those. But and the ones that I don't ever Loctite, the ones that hold the torque tube, the boom casing back here. I've never done that on any of my helicopters for some reason. I've never had any of those loosen up. You can check them after every 5 or 6 flights anyways, but those actually do go into metal, and I never have Loctited those, and I've had good success over the years. But bearing blocks, you know, servos and all that, you do have to, you know, a little bit of Loctite. Let the Loctite do the work. You don't have to torque them down, but occasionally you will get one. And there's certain parts of the helicopter that you can't heat up with a flame to melt the old Loctite in there. But I think personally a lot of these were just defective, garbage, cheap. You know, they're not actually. What happens, guys, is the wrench you're using is a higher quality steel than these, and they just strip these out. You know, they should be using stainless steel. There's titanium. There's a lot of different things they could use, but it's all about making the product as cheap as you can and putting it out and making as much as you can off it. So I've seen that on other helicopters, so it's not just this you know, brand. But anyways, these are some tips, guys, that will definitely help you. These are bigger, they're beefier heads, and definitely for the novice, it will give you a lot less headache and make your job a lot easier getting these things serviced and maintained. Some people put these together and they weld these screws in and they Loctite them, and they never think they're ever going to have to take them out again. But unfortunately, you do have to maintenance these things, and you do have to change parts, and if you crash them, you do got to take things apart, guys. So like I said, I use a baker's toothpick, and I just put a little dab on the end, and I put a little bit on the first maybe 2 or 3 threads, and let the Loctite do the work. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Once again, if you want to get a hold of these screws, you can either get an old 450 Pro parts bag, they still sell them, or you can use the feathering shaft bolts. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope this helps you out.